Fernando here from Panteao, and we're talking ballistics. All right, we've already addressed a bullet's window of performance, what is going to cause the bullet to expand, or the velocity by which that bullet is designed to expand. And when we're saying expand, we're talking about achieving the final diameter that we're hoping to achieve. A nice mushroom bullet, okay? You need to be able to determine for yourself what is going to work out of your particular handgun in your particular environment. Now, how does that impact a bullet's window of performance? Well, you need to be able to educate yourself on how that particular projectile is going to do through a medium like 10% ordnance gelatin. Now, 10% ordnance gelatin is important because it is right now the only real way for us to validate a bullet's functionality and replicate that repeatedly in different sources. For instance, the FBI may be doing a protocol. They may be doing a test of ammunition, and they're using 10% ordnance gelatin. The manufacturer is going to use that same ordnance gelatin, that same recipe, to test the ammunition themselves. The gun writer is going to be using that same recipe, that same gelatin, to test that ammunition himself or herself. So the bottom line is, you need to be able to know what that particular bullet is going to do for you in your environment. I mean, let's face it, if you live in Miami, you're probably wearing a single layer shirt, a guayabera. It could be 4-ounce, 5-ounce cotton, it could be polyester, it could be silk, but it's going to be a very, very thin layer of fabric. And that's what you're going to have on, or that's what the bad guy's going to have on. I kind of doubt he's going to have a leather jacket on. Flip side, you're up in Old Orchard Beach, Maine, or you're up in Alaska, he ain't wearing a guayabera by itself, not in the wintertime. That bad guy is going to have a whole bunch of layers of clothing. So that particular projectile must be able to get through all those layers or barriers prior to getting to flesh to be able to expand. Well, this goes back to the performance of the projectile. Remember, you're trying to cause a hollow point bullet to expand. Well, that's basically hydraulics. You're having fluidic mass or fluid going into the cavity and causing that cavity to expand. Now, if you have a projectile that maybe is designed with some type of polymer on the nose, there's manufacturers out there doing that now, where they're sort of pre-clogging, so to speak, the cavity. What they're really doing is they're aiding the expansion of that projectile so that no matter what it's going through, it already has a elastic polymer at the front that is going to cause that bullet to expand. Federal even started that years ago with EFMJ bullet, an expanding full metal jacket, whereas they actually had a jacketed bullet, but they have a polymer, elastic polymer on the inside, and on impact that FMJ looking bullet will increase its diameter, will expand. Not mushroom out, mind you, but will expand. So end goal here is, will your projectile expand in the barriers by which it's going to be encountering where you live? When you're reading those magazines out there, you may see that article by a gun writer, and he's testing that brand new Glock or that customized 1911 or that whatever brand pistol, and he's going to be standing there next to a target. He's going to be holding that gun up, and you're going to see that nice group that he just shot. Well, that's great towards the accuracy, but that is irrelevant for you as far as how that ammunition or how that gun performs on that bad guy. Remember, when the time comes and you need to actually engage someone to defend yourself, whether you're doing it with a $300 pistol or a $5,000 pistol, it really doesn't matter. I mean, the bottom line is, what are you sending down the barrel and into the bad guy? That's what matters. Also, of course, accuracy of those shots, the amount of rounds you put into the bad guy, but let's face it, you want to stack the cards in your favor. So accuracy is important, the amount of rounds you fire is important, how that bullet performs is important. Back to performance of the projectile. So next thing we're going to talk about is ways you can actually test those projectiles yourself to see if they will work for you in your environment.